Hello and welcome. My name is David, and today I have with me Sharon Welburn. She's a friend of mine. She's also a life coach, and today she's going to be doing something called timeline therapy on me. So I'll hand it over to Sharon. She can explain what it is and how it works, and yeah, get ready for the show. Sharon, how are you?
Hello. Hi, David. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Are you excited to be getting rid of anger and sadness today?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Should be interesting.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll just give us a quick rundown on timeline therapy and how our subconscious and our conscious minds work, so that can make a little bit more sense to everybody. So when I have my life coaching clients, I produce this little image because it helps people understand how our minds work. So as you can see, it's an iceberg. So up the top is the conscious mind. The conscious mind is willpower, long-term memory, logical thinking, and critical thinking. And it controls, by the time you're about 35, it's about 5 to 10% of your mind, okay? By the time you're 35, your subconscious or your unconscious mind is running about 90 to 95% of your mind. The subconscious mind holds beliefs, emotions, habits, values, protective reactions, also the long-term memory, imagination, and your intuition. So it basically runs a lot of the show. So that's why it can be quite hard to change or process emotions purely through conscious effort. That's why things like timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, and other NLP techniques that I use can get quite quick, rapid change. Okay. So the reason, what happens with emotions that happen to us when we're in our formative years, which is 0 to 7. So from 0 to 7 is when pretty much your brain takes in everything, and it will generalize, distort, and negate a lot of information according to what it wants to believe. But yeah, so basically everything from 0 to 7 is kind of stored in your body. So a lot of the emotions, the negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt, are formed during this 0 to 7 period. Okay, and what happens is the emotion, the negative emotion of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt gets stuck in the nervous system, right? So when I went to Tony Robbins, he explained it really well. So I am going to refer to his explanation for timeline therapy and for negative emotions. So he said when he was at he was doing a seminar in Hawaii, I think it was, or somewhere like that. And he, during 9/11.
Right.
And he had a lot of New Yorkers at this seminar. And he thought, they told him that when he came off stage, they told him what had happened. And he thought, geez, I've got to tell these people because they're going to no doubt know people that are involved. And he said what happened was when he broke the news to everyone, the angry people got angry, the sad people got sad about it and were crying, the fearful people were frightened that it was going to happen again, the hurt people took it personally, and the guilty people felt, why wasn't I should have been there, why wasn't I there, how come I was spared, sort of thing. So and that's because it's sort of like stuck in their nervous system. So what we do with timeline therapy is we go through this process where you will revisit whatever the event was using your unconscious mind, so almost like a hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
And then you take the learnings from it. So whatever the learnings were, you take the learnings from it and it actually dissolves it from your body.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And
just going to read out another document that's going to explain it even further. Okay. And then I'll ask any questions. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clear out those negative emotions. And we are going to do this using a process that's used all over the world, and it's used a lot in the UK. And it's called timeline therapy. It is used in a program called the Warrior Program, and used for ex-militants of war who have come back after fighting in the Middle East, like Afghanistan and Iraq and places like that. So in the Warrior Program, they were looking for a technique that would be effective to remove their traumas and negative emotions. So that's when they use timeline therapy. The process is scientifically proven to release those negative emotions or limiting beliefs from your nervous system. And it has been shown how these emotions actually then dissolve in the body and they disappear. We account for all belief systems. So we are looking for the root cause of the emotion. That can be before, during, or after your birth. When we say before, it can be in the womb or before then, which could then be from a past life or passed down to you genealogically. Because they did studies with mouse and found some fears were passed on across generations. Then we allow for in the womb, because when a mother feels a certain emotion, that emotion is also felt by the child. Also, many of the emotions or limiting beliefs can have the root cause in the time period of 0 to 7, like I explained before, because that's when a time when there is no separation between the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone said to me, Sharon, before the age of 7, Sharon, you can't ride a bike, I will actually download that information and take that as, oh, I can't ride a bike. But then if someone says to me after about the age of 7 that I can't ride a bike, I have developed the questioning faculty in my mind, which means before I accepted that belief, I would say or might think, hang on a minute, I've seen other people riding bikes and they're younger than me. So, you know, I can probably do that too. Okay, so that's why those 0 to 7 years are very much shape the way we are as adults.
Yep.
So the way I explain the root cause is my friend and his grandmother went on a cruise and she kept eating all of the food on the cruise until she was sick. And every day she was doing this. So then my friend said to her grandma, Grandma, why are you eating all the food on the cruise when you know it makes you feel sick? And she said, well, when I was 5, my mum said to me, never leave any food on the table. And so by doing timeline therapy, which she has been able to let go of that limiting belief by getting the certain learnings that she needed to release it. So the learnings that she got was to trust herself, to listen to her body, to know that only she knows what's best for herself. And because she got the learnings, she can now let go of that limiting belief. And now she only eats enough food until she's full. So the mind can hold on to negative emotions to keep us safe and protect us from danger, but only because it hasn't done the processes to release them. So what the negative emotion is actually doing is it's harming the body because it blocks the energy flow and prevents us from thinking clearly. And negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt are also linked to different physiological diseases in the body. So it's really important to release them and you'll feel really good after. It's not the emotions that protect us, it's actually the learnings that keep us safe and take care of us. And it's in the learnings which allows us to grow so we can be healthy and become what we are choosing to be. All learnings must be in the positive form and for yourself and for the future. So examples of learnings that are common are, I am great, I am magnificent, I am amazing, I can create what I want, I decide who I am free from others' opinions, I am independent from others' opinions, anything is possible, to let go, to forgive, to move forward, to accept myself, to love myself, to know that I'm worthy, and to know that everyone is doing the best that they can with the resources that they have. So things like don't worry, or don't look back, or don't think about bad things are what's called negations, and your unconscious mind does not process negatives. So if I say don't think of a blue tree, in order for you to process that sentence linguistically, you have to think of a blue tree first, don't you?
Yeah.
So just like teachers, just like teachers say to kids, don't run or don't talk, what they have actually done is given that child an embedded command to the unconscious mind to run or talk.
Yep.
This is because the unconscious mind does not process negatives. It will only process what comes after don't. Okay, so now when we release these emotions, only 3 things can happen in the middle of the process. The emotion is either there a little bit, it's still there, or it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I need you to tell me the truth, because I can handle anything.
Yeah.
So even if it's a little bit there, that just means that your unconscious mind wants you to get more learnings to release it. Okay.
Will there be a feeling I'll have, or will I just know intuitively?
Yes, you will know, because you'll feel differently. You won't be able to feel, because when we go through the process, you're almost like in a trance type, hypno type state.
Yeah.
You will be more in it, and you will feel it more. And then you'll just feel like it's gone. And then we test it. So I get you back into conscious mind and we test it, and you'll be amazed how quickly it works. So when we do this process, I'm going to ask you for the root cause. Okay. And you might say after birth. And then I might say what age? And you may say 6. And your conscious mind might be saying 6. I don't even know what happened at 6. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So then I might say, well, can you imagine what it is, or make it up? Because it doesn't really matter, because the unconscious mind has brought that number up for a reason. Okay. So it's brought that up for resolution. Okay. So that's what it wants, is resolution on that number. So that's why it's brought it up. So I'm going to push you to move fast and say the number fast, because your unconscious mind works very quickly. Okay. So now we all have a way in which we store time in relation to our body. Okay, so we're going to do a practice run on that right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if I were to ask, if you just want to close your eyes. If I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is and where your future is, I have an idea that you might say it's from right to left, or front to back, or up to down, or in some direction from you in relationship to your body. And it's not your conscious concept that I'm interested in, it's your unconscious. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your past, to what direction would you point? Good. And your future, what direction would you point if I asked your mind, where's your future? Perfect. Knows exactly what to do now and what to look for.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, good. So now, close your eyes. Okay, just float up above your timeline and over the past. Sorry, I went too far ahead of myself then. Okay. David, is it all right for your unconscious mind for you to release this hurt today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Good. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event which, when disconnected, will cause the fear to disappear. Sorry, the hurt. I'll say that one again. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event which, when disconnected, will cause the hurt to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth?
Before.
Okay, was it a past life or passed down to you genealogically?
Passed down.
Passed down to you genealogically. How many generations ago?
One.
One. Good. Now just float up above your timeline and over the past to position number 1, facing the past. And when you get there, can you imagine the event or make it up? Let me know when you're there.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, now float to position number 2, directly up above the event. So you are looking down on the event. Ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the hurt easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Tell me what the learnings are.
The learnings are that the person involved didn't, I don't want to say didn't know any better, but was acting perhaps in he's unconscious to his actions. So I guess people do the best with what they know.
Yes, good.
And
what else?
Also that if I want to distance myself, or the other person involved wants to distance themselves from this situation, then they can.
So how can we put, so people can distance themselves from situations if they need to?
Mm.
Is it that one? What is it?
Yes, yeah, that one.
Yes,
yeah.
People can, what else?
I guess it's kind of similar as taking charge for a situation, or you can kind of rewrite your history, I suppose, in some ways. Or I can rewrite the history in.
I can rewrite history. Is there anything else on that one? I can rewrite history for myself.
Mm. And produce better emotions and memories.
Is there anything else?
No.
Okay, good. Now float to position number 3. So you are above the event and before the event, and you are looking toward now. Make sure you are well before any of the chain of events that led to that event, and ask yourself, now where is that emotion? Now float down inside the event to position number 4, looking through your own eyes, and check on the emotions. Are they there or have they disappeared now?
Disappeared.
Good. Now come back to now above your timeline only as quickly as you can let go of all the emotions of hurt on the events all the way back to now. Assume position 3 with each subsequent event. Preserve the learnings. People do the best with what they know. People can distance themselves from others if they want to. And I can rewrite history for myself and produce better emotions and memories and let go of the hurt all the way back to now. Float down into now and come back into the room. And open your eyes when you're ready. Okay, good. I'm trying to think of a question. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Mountains. Okay, good. All right, that was just to check that you're with me. Okay, now close your eyes. Can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel that old emotion of hurt? And go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot.
No, I can't feel it.
Okay, good. Okay, come back to now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I want you to go out into the future to an unspecified time in the future, which if it happened in the past, you would have felt inappropriate or unwarranted hurt, and notice if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
No.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Okay, come back to now and open your eyes. Okay.
That
So
one
that's
was
hurt.
that one was interesting. That
Yes.
one I could feel. I felt something shift in my stomach at some point. I don't know
Yes,
if you saw it, but I kind of moved a little bit.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's what we like. See how it sort of gets easier as you go on, and that's because that anger and sadness is actually there. It is there, even though we think it's not,
Yeah.
because it masks the other things. So now, yeah, you'll also may find, this came to me before, you also may find, because it was passed down genealogically,
Mm-hmm.
you've also shifted it for that person that it was,
Okay.
if they're still alive.
They are.
Because time doesn't exist.
Sure. Yeah.
Time's a made up thing. So we can actually go back to the past and heal that aspect of the past. That's because time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So you can then change. That's how we change our future. Does that make sense? Is by, well, that's what I've experienced, is that because time doesn't exist, you can actually go into the past, and when you look at the past differently and you can change how you look at the past, that's how we end up changing our future, because we have a different perspective on it. That's how we change it energetically.
That does make sense. Time doesn't exist. I did a long time ago when I'd heard about I bought this law of attraction program, and I think it was about 2013. I don't even know if I went through the whole thing, and I was looking for it, and I don't have access to it anymore because it's so long ago. But in one of the videos, the guy was saying, yeah, you can go back and you can heal the past because for these other reasons. I can't remember exactly. I wish I had the program again.
Do you remember who it was? It might be worth buying it again.
Can't remember. No.
It'll pop up.
I want to say John Assaraf, but I'm not sure if it was him. It kind of sounded like him, but yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's why so you healing this now will heal whatever it was. They might not be aware of it. For the passed down genealogically, they might not be aware of it because if they're not self-aware, or it wasn't their thing to heal, but you might find that it's different, that they might, like, if they knew, they would say, oh yeah, that was just a turning point. That's why I always think any healing that I do is like, it's benefiting my whole bloodline, my whole family line, even though it's benefiting my children, even though they're in their physical and they can do their own healing. Anything I'm healing now is actually going to help them, plus make me a better person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic then. And I want to thank you for coming on. How about for anybody that's interested, how about you just tell everyone other things that you offer and where they can get in touch with you?
Yes. So I own Mindful Consulting, which does I'm a life coach, so I coach people and help them discover and uncover what their dreams are, and then we achieve them by clearing and healing the past, and then instilling whatever qualities they need to get to where their dreams are, their dreams are. So in my experience, you've got to do the healing from the past, and then that's where you can see law of attraction. You can use to also teach how to use law of attraction, which law of attraction is happening to us all the time, but I can teach it, so that you know how to attract what you want instead of what you don't want. But I find that you have to do that clearing of the negative emotions. So I use things like timeline therapy and NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically the patterns of the brain. So the patterns are where all the nuggets are. So that's why we have continual things happening in our lives. The repeat things is because that's our brain is like a computer system that just runs on patterns. So when you're consciously aware of them, that's where I'm good, because if you're consciously aware of the things that you want to change, then I've got the tools and the modalities that can change them for you.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again, Sharon. And I'll get you to send me links, and I'll leave them down below for people who want to check you out.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay, fantastic.
Lovely.
Well, I'll speak to you shortly.
Yep, sounds good. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.